Good evening, girls. I have explained you about frequency modulation analysis, wave and derivation, spectrum also. Power spectrum in FM is very small. Actually, it contains 2 or 3 points, which you have already written in the notes. Coming to generation of FM waves, I have explained you about FM modulator. I sent you a link for basic reactance modulator. And Varactor diode modulator is very easy to read. So Varactor diode modulator you read by your own. And coming to the last part of unit 4, it has a very important concept called super heterodyne receiver, AM and FM. I have posted YouTube links for these two concepts. I have chosen the videos which will make you understand easily. Okay, one of the question for super heterodyne receiver will appear in the question paper. Okay, remember one thing in super heterodyne receiver, whenever you get that answer, you just define what is super heterodyne. It is given in your notebook. Okay, after that, if it is AN, draw the block diagram clearly. If it is AM or if it is FM, draw the block diagram clearly and try to explain 2 or 3 points for each block. This will be enough for super heterodyne receivers. Now in the last part of unit 4, you have 5 concepts called pulse code modulation, pulse position modulation, pulse width modulation, pulse amplitude modulation and delta modulation. Okay, you have already written notes for this. Probably I'm trying to cover the same thing which you have written in the notes in the PPT, but PPT is a brief description, not point to point, pinpoint description. PPT is a brief description, so you choose what to write. If you like to write the theory given in the notes, you can write that. If you feel PPT information is more easy than notes, you can prefer PPT. It is up to you. Okay, now today in this session I will tell you and I will explain you what is pulse code modulation. Now there are many modulation techniques and they are classified according to the type of modulation employed. Modulation employed in the sense AM, FM, PM. Of them all, the digital modulation techniques out of all the digital modulation techniques used, pulse code modulation is most widely impressive. A signal is pulse code modulated, and if a signal is underwent through PCM to convert its analog information into a binary sequence, that is ones and zeros. The output binary sequence, the word binary in the sense only 2 bits, that is 0 and 1. 0 is called as 1 bit and 1 is called as another bit. 0 means low, 1 means high, or 0 means true, 0 means false, 1 means true, or 0 means ground or 1 is VCC. Okay, you can say that in any language. The output of a PCM will resemble a binary sequence. The following figure shows an example of PCM output with respect to instantaneous value of given sine wave. See, first wave is representing a sine, second wave is output of PCM. The output of PCM is obtained according to the values of sine wave. How we will see. Now before learning PCM, you have to learn some basics like sampling theorem, quantization, sampling, Nyquist frequency, aliasing effect and encoding. Remember one thing, sampling theorem is one of the concept for you in the upcoming years. Okay, this is a simple block diagram which will describe about PCM. These 3 blocks, sampling, quantizing, encoding, will combine encoder, PCM encoder, and the input for PCM encoder is the analog signal, sine signal, and the output is digital data. Okay, as I have already told that PCM is nothing but converting analog information into digital bits or binary bits. Now, after quantization, the signal will be like this. Before quantization or after sampling, the signal will be like this. Okay, you observe this and this one and this one are based on this analog wave. Okay, instead of a pulse train, PCM produces a series of numbers or digits, and hence this process is called as digital. Each one of these digits, although are in binary code, but they represent approximate amplitude of the signal sampled at any instant of time. What is saying? Generally, we will consider sine waves. Instead of considering continuous sine waves, PCM produces a number of digits, and hence this process is called digital, and each digit represents the amplitude of a signal at a particular time. In pulse code modulation, the message signal is represented by sequence of code pulses. This message signal is achieved by representing the signal in discrete digital from both time and amplitude. I will tell you what does it mean. Now, first point which has to be remembered under PCM is PCM should always satisfy a fundamental theorem of communication which is called as sampling theorem, which also defines the Nyquist frequency criteria. Okay, if this Nyquist frequency criteria is failed, then the effect is called aliasing effect, and to compensate or to remove this aliasing effect, PCM code is passed through a aliasing filter or initializing filter. This you can see in the block diagram which is given to you in the notebook. I always suggest whenever you are trying to listen to a PPT for a particular concept, first you open your notebooks, open the concept which you are going to read, keep it aside, and then listen to the PPT presentation, because almost in every PPT, somewhere or the other, at some point I will link the PPT notes or words or paragraph or a sentence or a definition with respect to your notebook. I assure that. Okay, the sampling theorem can be defined as conversion of analog signal into discrete form. Discrete is nothing but digital. Conversion of analog signal into discrete form by taking sampling frequency as twice the input analog signal frequency. Input signal frequency is denoted by FM. M stands that it has to be modulated, and sample signal frequency is denoted by Fs. S means sampling. Okay, PCM has to satisfy sampling theorem, which is the fundamental theorem of communication, and sampling frequency is represented by Fx, Fs, which is reciprocal of Ts, time taken for each sample. Okay, now next comes Nyquist frequency. The sampling frequency should be at least twice the input of signal frequency, or it should be greater than twice of signal frequency. Such a condition is called Nyquist criteria for sampling, or simply Nyquist frequency. When sampling frequency equals twice the input signal frequency, that is called as Nyquist rate. If sampling frequency is less than twice the input signal, then such a criteria is called aliasing effect. Okay. Now you can see here. You can also observe the same figure in your notebooks. Okay. When analog sample is taken and it has different marks, samples are marked on that wave like this. See. This is one mark, this is one mark. All these dots are marked levels. Okay, that signal is M of t. Dotted line is M of t. That means our modulating signal with respect to time. And the lines are quantized samples. Okay, at each and every time interval, this represents the sample signal according to the time. Okay. Now, there are 16 levels in this instance because, once again, quantization is the process of changing continuous amplitude signal into discrete amplitudes. For this level, this is the amplitude. For this level, this is the amplitude. For this level, this is the amplitude. Okay? Now, this is a 4-bit message it seems. So, 2 to the power of 4, that is 16. 2 to 4, 4 to 0, 8 to 16. There are 16 levels in this. Now, how that levels are represented? See, the 16 levels are represented like this. To communicate sampled values, we send a sequence of bits that represents the quantized value. For 16 quantized level, 4 bits are required because 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 16. PCM can use a binary representation of values. Now, in this tabular column, first digit is nothing but 16 bits, 0 to 15, decimal values. Second bit, binary equivalent. Now, you don't consider how these binary values are denoted or depicted for this decimal system. You just remember the 16 levels. Okay? One thing you have to remember is, for each decimal number, there is a 4-bit binary code. For example, for 0 it is 0000. For 4 it is 0100. For 6 it is 0110. And for 9 it is 1001. For 8 it is 1000. Okay? If you observe, in this binary equivalence of 16 bits, first bit will tell you whether it belongs to positive half or negative half of the signal. This is the positive half, this is the negative half. And the first bit will indicate whether the signal belongs to positive or negative half. Okay? If the first bit is 0, you can observe pulse will start in negative phase. If the first bit is 1, the pulse will start in positive phase. Okay? The remaining 3 bits will determine the amplitude value. Okay? Same thing I have given in the notes along with the picture. But different levels ni I think I have denoted with L. L-1, L-2 for negative phase, L1, L2 for positive phase. The only thing you have to remember is each decimal number from 0 to 15, that means 16 levels, will have a separate binary 4-bit equivalent for them, and in that 4 bits, first bit will define whether that pulse belongs to positive saturation or negative saturation level, and the remaining 3 bits will determine the amplitude at a particular time level, at an instant of time. Okay? For better understanding, once you sit and read the notebook. And this is the entire block diagram of PCM. Here, transmission section and receiver section are combined together, and you can see a channel which acts as an interface between transmitter and receiver section. Okay, now I will try to explain each and every block in 1 or 2 points. You write down the same thing, no problem. First one is low pass filter. This, you already know what is low pass filter. It will pass only low frequency signals. This filter eliminates high frequency components present in the analog input signal, which is greater than the highest frequency of the message signal, to avoid aliasing of the message. Aliasing means what? If FM is less than 2 times of Fs. If the Nyquist frequency criteria is reversed, then that effect is called aliasing effect at all. So, to remove aliasing effect, what we will use? We will pass the signal through low pass filter to eliminate high frequency components. Next, sampler. This is the technique which helps to collect sample data at instantaneous values of time for a message signal, so that it will reconstruct the originals. The sampling rate must be greater than twice that of highest frequency component of the message signal in accordance with sampling theory. This is nothing but FM is less than or equal to 2 times of Fs and same thing. Quantizer. Quantizing is a process of reducing excessive bits and confining the data, cutting short the data. sampled output when given to quantizer, first low pass filter, then sampler, then quantizer. What will happen? In the previous block diagram, I have shown what happens after the quantizer, before the quantizer. Okay, remember that point. If you want, you refer that slide once. Next one is encoder. The digitization of analog signal is done by encoder, and conversion of analog into digital. It designates each quantized level by a binary code. I told you now, each decimal value, analog value, will have 4-bit binary equivalent data. The sampling done here is sampled and hold process. In the book you can see you will have one sampled and hold block also. These three sections, LPF, sampler and quantizer, will act as an analog to digital converter. And the same thing here is called as PCM encoder. Okay. Regenerative repeater. This section increases the signal strength. If this, as the signal passes from block to block, if the strength increases, if you use repeater, the strength will be regained back. The output of channel also has one regenerative repeater circuit to compensate the signal loss and to reconstruct the signal. If there is any loss, what will the repeater do? It will gain the loss and it will reconstruct the signal so that no noise will be added and there is no loss of energy. Decoder. The decoder circuit decodes. Decoding means after receiving analog into digital form, the receiver should be able to decode the decimal, the binary values, so that he can confirm whether he has received the analog signal which has to be transmitted or not. This circuit acts as a demodulator. You know what is demodulation. And reconstruction filter, last one. After digital to analog conversion, I already told LPF, sampler and quantization blocks combine to form analog to digital converter. After that, by regenerative circuit and decoder, a low pass filter is employed called as reconstruction filter to get back the original. Hence, pulse code modulator circuit digitizes the given analog signal, encodes it, samples it, and then transmits in analog form back. For this conversion, we will use A to D. This whole process is repeated in a reverse pattern to obtain the original signal. Reverse pattern in the sense, see here, LPF to sampler, sampler to quantizer, to therefrom regenerative. Now, from regenerative repeaters, there is a channel. From channel output, what you have to do? Encode, that is nothing but regenerating. Decode, that is nothing but quantizer. Sampling is nothing but reconstruction. LPF, that is nothing but destination. Okay. You follow the PPT for 2 times, then I am sure that you will understand it clearly. Thank you guys.